Next on Let We Call It We Beige story.
If you are trying to make sense of why some things feel like they're shifting but not really improving, and I know that a whole lot of one out there could probably relate to that feeling. And goodness knows I feel as if some of one don't even look at them anyway. But I still love one bad. Blessings, my people. I am Zana, the creator of Beijan's Punnet, and this is another episode of Let We Call It We Beige story. Welcome to one and all.
Everything shared in this episode represents my own research, reflections, and creative commentary, drawn from publicly available information and insight. I always do my best to cite and credit every source I can, so that you can explore and form your own understanding too. I am not a political figure, and I am not affiliated with any governmental, organizational, or partisan entity. My purpose is solely this: to help educate, to help document, and to help uplift Barbados by opening honest and respectful conversations about all the issues and things and cultural events, etc. shaping our beige story. Because at the end of the day, this truly is our beige story in the making.
Today is Independence Day. And to be very honest, I wasn't even planning to record anything today. I'm actually exhausted, mentally, physically. Yeah, real exhausted. And I know that a whole lot of one out there could probably relate to that feeling. But then I remembered something simple. That Barbados became Barbados because our people in the past was through even when they were tired. It's almost as if they just had no choice. And sometimes, it is the quietest stories that we all need to tell. So today, let me just talk without all the hullabaloo and the fancy, the citations and everything. Just let me talk. Barbados didn't just become an independent nation because everything was perfect or because the world suddenly decided to treat us fairly. It didn't. Barbados became independent because our people, our ancestors held on. They held on when they were broken. They held on when they were beaten. They held on when they were tired. You need to hear this. They held on when they were hopeless, when they were disrespected and dismissed and disregarded and abused and traumatized and all the other things that you possibly can't say upon this platform. They were used so much by the systems that benefited from them. Our ancestors were not any superheroes. They were just everyday people like us who were in fact tired, but still kept on going. Like, just think of what they went through for us to be here today. Therefore, even though I am worn out, I need to remember that that same spirit that they had lives on in not just me, but actually lives on somewhere deep in all of us. We need to remember that independence is not about political change. It is, in fact, emotional independence and cultural independence. The courage to remember who we are, even though the world tries to tell us otherwise. Today, all I want is for Barbados to do this. Remember the strength you've already shown. Respect the people who carried this island to where it is right now, our ancestors, and revive the fire that we need now, not the fire of 1966 and all them times. I'm talking about the fire that we really, really, really need now in 2025 and beyond. Because listen to me, with all the economic changes and challenges and things going on in the world, diasporal tension, cultural loss and climate pressure, and people simply feeling forgotten, Barbados has always survived by pulling up from its roots. Not by excuses, not by complaints, not by all these speeches, the roots. And roots, as wanna know, does run deep. Right now, I'm just feeling the need to let at least one of you out there know that you're not alone. If you are feeling tired and overwhelmed and frustrated or unsure about the direction of Barbados, you're not alone. If you're feeling like the world is moving too fast, you are not alone. If you are struggling to hold on to your footing, you are not alone. If you are a young person watching the cost of living rise higher than your opportunities, you are not alone. If you are wondering how to build a future in a world that really feels unstable, hey, you definitely are not alone. If the recent floods shook you, whether it's the house that you got or your road was blocked or you just felt fear rising up in your chest, oh my goodness, the flood waters in the buses and the houses and things, you are not alone. If climate change is starting to feel like a real threat in your backyard instead of a distant problem, I can tell you now, you are not alone. If crime in certain communities has you worried for your children and your siblings and your family and your friends, your loved ones, and for your own safety, you are not alone. If you are trying to make sense of why some things feel like they're shifting but not really improving, you are not alone. If the whole digital ID, Trident ID, tech change every 5 minutes thing has your spirit feeling a tiny little bit uneasy and you're wondering what truly is secure, what is transparent, or what it means for everyday citizens, you're not alone. Plenty people are asking the same questions quietly. If you are feeling lost between tradition and modernity, between the Barbados that you grew up in or you heard about and the Barbados that we are becoming, you are not alone. If you are in the diaspora like me and aching bad to go home, but you're unsure where you actually would fit now, you are not alone. If you are in Barbados self and you feeling like you being left out of all the big decisions happening right now over your head, you're not alone. And listen, if you are holding grief and depression and financial pressure and family burdens, housing stress, or just plain exhaustion in your bones, I can tell you now, you are not alone. You are human. Yes, you're Bajan, but Bajans have always endured storms. And even when they were enduring the storm, they were thinking probably like how we feel sometimes. Like if like, okay, it is it. No, we in this can break. But we've managed, literally and figuratively. Please remember that we come from a people who turned suffering, oh my goodness, pure suffering into history and pain into the culture that we got now, and struggle into the celebration that we just do, and survival into our identity. I want to assure you that you are carrying so much more power in your bones than you realize. And on today, this Independence Day, whether you are at home or in the diaspora or somewhere in between, I need you to remember that Barbados' story is still being written. That's why it's talked about Babe's story. And you are actually a big part of that. I want to thank you so much for spending these few little minutes with me today. I know it is a bit different, but seriously, the exhaustion coming from all sorts of places, but I need to remember that we come from strong stock. I didn't come with the long episode or the breakdown or the 500 years of citations and all that sort of thing. And goodness knows I feel as if some of one don't even look at them anyway. But I still love one a bad. I have just come with heart as I usually do. Sometimes that is all you need. So comment, like, and share. Do all the things that you know that you ought to do in order to make sure that you know your base story. And remember, it is upon our ancestors' shoulders we stand. Blessings, my people, and happy Independence Day. I can talk to winner in the next episode.